Hey, Tor Thorson GameSpot here with Andy Bodwin from Zipper Interactive, who gave us a big shock today by coming out of the woodwork and giving us an all-new title. It's MAG, stands for Massive Action Game.
Massive Action Game, that's correct.
All right, that's a pretty apt acronym. Now, tell us the story behind this. You guys came from SOCOM, came from a background of that kind of smaller, kind of like tactical action, and this is, for lack of a better term, a huge game.
Absolutely. So obviously with the PlayStation 3, we got a lot more power that we can kind of tap into to try to create different games. And so we sat down and tried to figure out how we could take a lot of the shooter experience that we had and that knowledge and create a new game that was going to be unrivaled, basically one that could only be done on the PlayStation 3. And so obviously this is the game that came out of that brainstorm.
So you went in with the kind of express mission of being like, I want to tax the PS3 to its absolute limits.
Well, obviously we wanted to create, first and foremost, a phenomenal shooter experience for players. But, I mean, that's definitely something that this hardware can do that is going to be very unique.
Now, and speaking of a phenomenal shooter experience, this is like almost unprecedented. 256 person battles, is that true?
That's correct. Absolutely.
That's crazy. So how will this work? And you mentioned there's going to be squads. Can you break down kind of how the order of battle will go? Will there be factions like one side against the other, all the squads against each other? How is this going to work?
Absolutely. So we actually drew inspiration from real-life military operations where you don't get an entire company of soldiers, just throw them on the front line, at least not since Gettysburg. We tried to do that, and we all saw how that works. So what we wanted to try to do was draw inspiration from real military actions where you can look at, okay, one squad, their goal is to hold this bridge, or a second squad's goal is to try to blow out these gates and try to make way for vehicles that are coming in to do escort missions and things like that. So throughout that whole action, you'll drop in with either 7 of your best buddies or 7 players that we've matched you up with that are going to work with your similar skills and talents as a soldier. And then you have a number of objectives that your team's supposed to try to overcome.
Now, these objectives are set by you guys up at Zipper, or is there going to be like somebody who eventually becomes a rank of a commander directing other squads, or how will that work?
There is a higher level of leadership that's in the game, but if you've got a strong leader on the squad level or on higher levels of leadership, they're going to do a much more effective job of reacting to changes that happen on the battlefield, just like a real general would do.
How will you determine whether it's effective? It's by sheer victories and whoever was the squad leader there, or how will that work?
There are lots of different ways, and we're not going to get too many into the details now, but I mean, it's going to make logical sense. There are certain things that somebody in charge of a squad needs to do to be good, and there are certain things that individuals on a higher level need to do to be good. And like in real life, the higher up you go, it tends to be victory or loss and elements like that.
You're awarding like little medals and stuff for valor and such like?
There will be awards given to players of many different types.
I won't get any more specific, but another aspect I found really interesting when you described this is kind of the character development. So it almost looks like kind of a small amount of role-playing experience to this. Tell me about the kind of character development system within the game.
There is. So there are lots of different ways to go in character development. Obviously, you've got your super rich, character development experiences, and then we've got very focused character development experiences, which is what our game is all about. There are lots of options. There are lots of ways you can play the game. But one thing we wanted to make sure we didn't do was make it so that a new player coming into the game was going to get completely owned by everybody who's been playing a long time. So our character development system is much more about customization, personalizing, and specialization, rather than just a linear progression like some other games do that make you just better. So
somehow there'll be some kind of scaling element where, like, if somebody like a real group of squads, like if there's a new guy, the FNG, for lack of a better term, comes into a group, he's not going to get slaughtered right away.
That's absolutely the goal. So, and that's one of the reasons behind the squad mentality is that when you bring in a new character into the game, you want other people that have played the game before, especially in a multiplayer experience like ours, to ease that player in and help them develop. And then also, if you've got a bunch of friends that like to play, if you each specialize in a different way, that squad of 8 is going to be extremely powerful and very effective working together. So.
Maybe that big a clan, can you always have the exact same squad? Will it be like a tight unit, or will it kind of mix and match out?
It's up to you. So it's up to you how you want to play. Obviously, with 256 player battles, you're going to be working with people potentially you don't know. Right. But you definitely have the ability to join in, find where your friends are, join together, and play as a unit whenever you want.
And I know that SOCOM Confrontation, one, it kind of gets your alma mater, for lack of a better term, the SOCOM franchise, is all multiplayer. Is this going to be strictly multiplayer?
This is strictly multiplayer, correct. Yeah, we wanted to make sure that we focus. I mean, there are lots of different ways you can do it, but the technological achievements as well as the game design challenges of this kind of game made us want to put all of our efforts into making that a rock-solid experience.
Setting it looked like it was a little bit near future. So is it contemporary warfare, or is it kind of just like near future, like 10 years down the line, or what exactly is the time frame for it?
It's roughly 10, 20 years down the line. So a lot of the weapons you're going to be seeing are those that are either in the experimental phase or the cutting edge today. You'll be able to play with those.
How far down the line is this game?
It's coming out in 2009. So we're in the middle of heavy production on it, and every time we, at least once a week, we tend to grind the studio to a halt as we get everybody playing the game. So we're outgrowing our ability to play test in the studio very rapidly.
Right off myself soon. So that was MAG, Massively Action Game, revealed here today at the Sony press conference. I'm Tor Thorson, GameSpot News. Back to you.